Renyi Zhang is a professor of atmospheric sciences at Texas A&M University. His work includes research on the impact of global air pollution on human health, ecosystems, and climate. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Professor, the theme of World Environment Day deals with air pollution. As we've been reporting, China has made some really big efforts to mitigate its well-known air pollution issues. What can other countries learn from what has worked for China, and can they apply it at home?
Yes, I think the fact that China is hosting the World Environment Day with the theme on air pollution is it's really a recognition of China's leadership to fight climate change, air pollution problems. And this is a very complicated issue. I mean, when you look into the air pollution aspect, you got to recognize the challenge. You just mentioned that air pollution is a global issue, and on in the world, I mean, 9 out of 10 people are breathing polluted air, and 1 out of 9 people die because of air pollution. So this is a huge issues, and even in the developing countries, there still are. Even in the developed countries, this is still a big issue. And a recent report issued by United States Environmental Protection Agency indicate that about 11 people in the U.S., 100 million people in the U.S. still breathing polluted air. So there's a tremendous of issues here. I think the Chinese government is really taking the leadership in terms of fighting pollution problems, and you can tell clearly. I mean, the air quality in Beijing has been improving. People can see clear skies, and so there has been tremendous improvement in China.
Overall, do you think things are better, or do they still have to get worse before they get better?
This is, as I mentioned, this is very complicated issues. I mean, you have to look into the sources, what's causing air pollution. So the main problem here is the fossil fuel combustion. So whenever you have coal burning, that process produces carbon dioxide along with other things. And when you have automobiles running gasolines, you produce CO2 in conjunction with other pollutant. So basically what you're facing here is you have emission of carbon dioxide, which is causing global warming, and also you have emissions of other chemicals that causing haze problems. And so basically what's driving, so what the key issue here is that, so that's the economy, that's really the fossil fuel business is driving the humanization. And if you look into the economic development, you look at GDPs. U.S. has about 19 trillion GDP, and China has about 12, and India has about 3. So you basically can proportional the GDP with the consumption of energies. So basically, U.S. is also releasing a lot of carbon dioxide. So U.S. still suffering the air pollution problems. So as China and India.
What about China's efforts to clean its water, the water quality management? How would you rate its efforts to clean the country's lakes, rivers, and water sources? We've been hearing of some improvements in that area as well.
Yes, so China has been doing very well in terms of improving air qualities, water qualities, and even like dealing with soil. But the water quality is relatively easier compared to air, because the water is not moving very rapidly in conjunction with in comparison with air. So and the other complication here is that right now we are under global. Everything is under globalization. So, for example, developed countries is exporting trade to developing countries. So basically, they are also exporting pollutions to other countries, and whereas the developing countries exporting pollution back to some of the developing countries. You got to remember the air is moving very rapidly on the globe. So roughly it takes about a week for the pollutant to travel around the world. So this really become a global issue.
All right, Professor Zhang, thank you so much for joining us from Los Angeles.